Hi, everybody. So, what I want to talk to you about today is empathy. Now, Brene Brown did a wonderful video on the difference between empathy and sympathy, and she goes into good detail about what's the difference there. But I think one of the things that a lot of people don't understand is the connection of empathy and how we experience emotions. So, when I'm talking about empathy, I'm talking about how we pick up on other people's emotions. Now, there's a lot of theories about why that happens. Is it a learned behavior? Is it like some sort of emotional pheromones that we put out and other people pick up? Like, what's going on there? Nobody knows. My theory is it comes from a traumatized past where you grew up in a situation where you probably had to be able to pick up the emotions of other people for whatever reason that is, be it for survival, protection, or just being able to understand what's going on in your environment. So there are a lot of people that are empaths out there. And to me, that means that you're picking up on the emotions of other people and often experiencing those emotions yourself. Let me give you a quick example. So, when my grandmother passed away, I was sad. She was 93. She went to be with God, with my grandfather, with my mom, with my uncle. So, I was sad that I lost her, but I knew she was happy where she was. And then I walked into her apartment where my two uncles were starting to clean out her apartment. And I just started sobbing. And I remember standing there and going, why am I crying? I am sad, but I'm not this level of sad. And then it dawned on me, these were the emotions that I walked into when I walked into the apartment. They were the emotions of my uncles and not so much my own emotions. So how do we stop that? Because we don't need to be feeling anybody else's emotions. It's it's very very unhealthy for us, and it doesn't help them at all because feeling someone else's emotions doesn't mitigate any of the emotions that they're going through. So by feeling them, you're not taking them off of the other person. You're just increasing the misery is what you're doing. So what can we do about this? Well, there's a lot of stuff we can do. First of all, we have to recognize it. That's the common theme. When we have a problem, we have to recognize it. So, are you an empath? When you're around happy people, do you feel happy? When you're around sad people, do you feel sad? Those little predictors can be the way we look at it. Like, okay, so if I'm doing that, then I'm probably an empath. What do we do with that? Well, there are multiple tricks that you can use to deal with being an empath, because walking into a space where there's a whole bunch of people feeling a whole bunch of different energies and emotions, oh my gosh, that's like walking into a waterfall. It's not a good feeling for us. So sometimes empaths tend to avoid large spaces or large gatherings, or they don't like where there's a lot of emotionally charged people. So going to a funeral or a hospital or something like that can be really traumatizing to someone who's an empath because they're feeling everything that everybody's putting out all at once. Okay, so what do we do about that? Well, there's a lot of things that we can do to protect ourselves. We can meditate, we can visualize. There's all sorts of videos out there on how to do it. One of the things that when I recognize it, the moment I recognize it, because again, you got to recognize it before you can do anything about it. The moment I recognize it, I automatically picture a white wall going up around me. Okay. And once that wall is up around me, nothing can come through that isn't of me. Okay. So then I'm starting to feel my own energies. And that helps me to kind of push it away. Another thing that I do regularly, I ask God to give me his armor. I was coming out of a college class that I'd been teaching one day, and it had been a fabulous class. Like, the students were having a good time. We were joking back and forth. We were having a great discussion about stuff. And I was walking up to my vehicle and I thought, oh my gosh, I'm so tired. I'm just so tired. Why am I so tired? Being an extrovert, I should have been energized by that interaction, but it just felt like it sucked the life out of me. And God revealed to me, Mandy, the armor of salvation isn't just for salvation. The armor has more purpose. So if you know where I'm coming from the biblical armor of salvation, there's a whole list of things that go along with it. But what God revealed to me in that moment was praying for God's protection, God's armor when I go out, when I'm out amongst people, is highly important for me because it protects me from those waves of emotion that come and impact me. And they don't necessarily just change your emotional state. They can affect your physical state too. So that's something to consider because our emotions are interconnected with how we are physically doing. Excuse me. So it's pollen season, y'all. So what we have to consider is how can we manifest this in our lives? We have to continue to focus on that barrier, that protection, however you want to frame it, and put it up in between us and other people. Now, the great thing about this is it's mutable. We can change this. If someone's having a good time and you want to feel that energy, because once you start putting that armor up, you're going to be like, whoa, where'd all that energy go? I was all over the place and all that energy, and now it's just me. So it's like going from a conference room where there's 50 people talking all at once to just sitting in your own home all by yourself. So there's a drastic shift there. So that's the same with the energy. And you're feeling your own energy and you're free from other people's energy. Now's the time to start sampling other people's energy. You can reach out and say, okay, I'd like to see or experience what they're experiencing so I can let myself be open to their energy. Or if I'm trying in a counseling session to understand what the person is feeling, I can let myself open up to their energy and experience that, and then close it down so that I can understand, okay, these people, this person that I'm working with isn't sad, they're angry, but it's presenting as sad, which can happen. So we have to look at picking and choosing what type of energies we want to let in. And we can do that with practice. Now, your first time, it might be a struggle, but as you practice this over and over again, this is something that you can learn to do. And it's really wonderful because when someone's having a good day and you're just over here going, eh, 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 you can actually take the time and open your energy field up and let that energy come in and raise you up. Now, it doesn't take them down, it raises you up. So it can be a good experience for everybody because who doesn't like a perky person? Well, I know some people. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you and have a great day, everybody, and protect your energy.